my stance on this is when a firefighter comes up to a hydrant, we expect there's going to be water. We don't control the water supply. Our firefighters are there to protect lives and property and to make sure that we're properly trained and equipped. That's my position on this. So if there's no water, I don't know how the water gets to the hydrants.
Mel, reaction to that?
Well, I know they were messing with the water, letting reserves go for one reason or another. They've been doing that a while. California has a lot of problems that sort of baffle the mind as far as why they do things. And then in the events like this, you sort of look, well, is it on purpose? Which it's an insane thing to think. But one begins to ponder whether or not there is a purpose in mind. What could it be? I don't know. Do they want the state empty? I don't know.
Well, Mel, there's already talk, and we played a couple of sound bites of reimagining the way rebuilding occurs. And obviously there's a great need for high-density housing in California and across the country. That's a big push by the climate folks. And you're already hearing rumblings of that. In this case, like goodbye single-family homes, hello high-density housing.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace, salutations, and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing his truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe, in the sincere hopes of being delivered in these last days. All right, this is the Bobby Akanan from the GMS England branch. As you just seen in this interview conducted with Mel Gibson, he was being questioned, in regards to his thoughts and feelings in regards to this LA wildfire, situation that's transpiring. And even in the beginning of the interview, he was going into how, his home had burnt down. But at the time, or around about the time, he was actually recording, with Joe Rogan, because he had a recent interview that got released with Joe Rogan. All right, so, obviously, he's a lesser luminary. So, these guys had the heads up in regards to what was going to go down. All right, none of them are astonished or shocked, concerning what's happening, because again, these are lesser luminaries. And, even though Mel Gibson, from time to time, he'll expose certain things and seem if to have, a rebellious streak, ultimately, this man's on Fox News. He's on particular, platforms that, as we know, are controlled by the small hats. And for you to be allowed on them platforms and to talk and push a certain message and vibration, you have to be juiced in, all right? You have to be controlled, all right? Whether you're, controlled opposition, whatever the case is, you have to be controlled, all right, to be on these platforms. So, as you've seen, in the interview, he was being very sarcastic and basically telling the people, in a roundabout way that, this situation is engineered, okay? And this whole thing, is set up and is very fishy, okay? And like I said, he was being very sarcastic and he was throwing things out there to have people think a certain way, all right? So you would know that, there's something going on here and it just doesn't add up, all right? Now, they even mentioned how they've been messing with the water. You had reports of fire hydrants, being stolen, fire hydrants being empty. You know, you really just can't make this stuff up. You know, it's so obvious as to the fact that this situation is engineered that it's got to the point, you know, that Esau doesn't even mind certain information, you know, being out there no more. And really he doesn't have a choice, because we're in the information age, you know, as it tells us in the book of Daniel, you know, knowledge shall be increased. All right. We're in a time where, you know, something happens, you know, 2-3 hours later, you know, you have a breakdown on YouTube with someone going into, you know, the intricacies of the situation, what doesn't add up, you know, timelines and, you know, all sorts of things. And you have multiple people doing that. All right. So the internet, you know, even though Esau uses it as his device, you know, to fulfill his evil schemes, it also works against him. All right. And that's all through Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right. Because as it tells us in Jeremiah 49 and verse 10, let's get it right quick. Jeremiah 49 and 10, it reads, "But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he will not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not." All right? So the Lord has made it, all right, where this devil is unable to hide himself, all right? And he is being exposed. As it's written, he has been made bare, okay? And that's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So his own devices, you know, are now working against him, okay? And as the scriptures say, you know, you can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. So every move that Esau makes, every decision that he makes, all right, even though in his own mind is furthering his own agenda, really what you're doing is setting up the way for prophecy to be fulfilled, okay? And there's nothing, you know, that you can do about that. That's just how Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has set this thing up, and it's beautiful. It really is beautiful to watch, you know, all of these things being exposed. Now, let's get right quick the book of Luke, chapter 8, and verse 17. "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad." All right? And in NLT it says, "For all that is secret will eventually be brought into the open, and everything that is concealed will be brought to light and made known to all." All right? And that's what we're witnessing upon the earth. You know, first and foremost, you know, with this truth of the Holy Bible being broadcasted through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai via his men, all right, via the prophets, okay, the mouthpieces of the Lord, all right. This truth has gone out throughout the four corners of the globe, you know, as pursuing to Matthew chapter 24 and verse 14, okay. And that's why, you know, this kingdom is going down, because this word has gone out, all right. So now we're seeing how Esau Edom's kingdom is being brought low, and it begins, you know, with the lies being exposed. Okay, that's a very important element that has to be dealt with, you know, before Yahweh Shai returns and, you know, physically breaks this kingdom down. You know, all the lies have to be exposed. Okay, and as I said, you know, first and foremost, that began, you know, with the prophets, all right, bringing out the truth of the Holy Bible, all right, exposing Esau Edom for who he really is, and telling you tribes, you know, you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, you know, who you are, you know, as according to the Bible, all right. Very important process to begin the demise of Esau Edom, you know, and his kingdom, you know, his rulership, okay. So he even mentioned in this interview, and I'll put the you know, the link in the description box so you can watch the entirety of it. He even mentioned how his son, Mel Gibson, I'm talking about, he mentioned how his son was volunteering, you know, in regards to, you know, fighting these blazes. And apparently they caught an arsonist. You know, he was actually in the process of, lighting the fire. This is all in the interview. And apparently this guy was arrested, but he wasn't charged. Okay, so we've been hearing, reports of, arsonists and so on and so forth, worsening the fires and, making new fires and, all kind of madness. But, apparently this guy weren't even charged. He was just let go. So they're really showing you, and they're really trying to rile up the spirits of the people, all right? Because they really do want people to rebel to a certain extent, so they can use that to put down that draconian, measures, all right, to put you back in order, all right? So you got all kind of chaos and evil schemes, transpiring right now in Babylon the Great, all right? And, hey, we're still in January, all right? We're nearly halfway through January, and such a substantial amount of chaos is already, been revealed, man. Kol Haloyim La Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Makar Kudash. It's a beautiful thing, And she even made mention, as you heard, the high density buildings. All right, so they're already talking about building these high density buildings. All right, and I googled it here. It says high density housing is a type of residential development that accommodates more people in a smaller area than average. It's often found in urban areas and densely populated areas. High-density housing can include multi-story apartment buildings, condominiums, townhouses, luxury lofts, and repurposed commercial buildings. Now it says here, lower infrastructure maintenance costs, all right? These are the benefits. Less traffic, because as we know, they don't want people to drive. They don't want people to own cars. They want everyone to live in these 15-minute cities where everything you need is accessible in that little block. Less traffic, reduce urban decay, increase property value, attracting new businesses and employers, reduce environmental destruction, all right? So again, reduce environmental destruction, showing you that this is all planned. All right, there's so many things that show you that this is planned. It's unbelievable. Okay, but again, the simple, all right, will walk straight into taking that mark. All right, the simple are gonna take that mark. And those of you that are not spiritually, preparing yourself for what's about to go down upon the earth, you're gonna end up taking that mark too. Now, you know what? Let me get one more scripture, and then we'll close out. And I had Job 18, in mind. This is Job chapter 18 and verse 5. All right. Now it says, "Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down." And in the NLT, it says, the confident stride of the wicked will be shortened. Their own schemes will be their downfall. All right, like I said, you can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. All right, so all of these evil schemes, that he's working, in his witchcraft, is really going to add to his own downfall, all right? And that's how the Lord has set it up. It says the wicked walk into a net, they fall into a pit. And this is beautiful, all right? Because we're witnessing the downfall of Esau Edom. Now, he thinks he's being strengthened, in these evil schemes and the witchcraft that he's putting out there, and all of these, engineered, chaos and, T attacks, so on and so forth. But all of that is going to come to naught, because you can't overcome, the truth. The truth is the truth. And the truth is that prophecy, all right, the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai are not going to be returned onto him void, as it tells us in Isaiah 55 and 11. Everything that's written in this book concerning Esau Edom, and him being the wicked, and him being destroyed in these last days, and him bringing out the mark, and all of these things are going to happen, all right? None of these prophecies are going to return unto the Lord void. Everything is going to be accomplished the way it's written, all right, the way it's been prophesied to happen. All right, so all of these things that Esau's doing, you know, they're all going to come to naught and they're all going to fail. All right, so that's it, you know, in this video. And until next time, I'll say shalom.